If you're looking to buy your first suppressor, you're going to want to watch this video. Hey guys, Crusader Armory TV, back at it again with a new video. Today guys, we are talking about suppressors. I have finally bit the bullet and decided to sell my fingerprints to the government in exchange for an aluminum can to screw on the end of my firearm to protect my hearing. I was one of these people for a very long time who's really not interested in getting a suppressor, mainly because the process just seemed very, very complex. I mean, a few years ago, the ATF was taking on average up to 8 months to a year just to approve people's ATF forms for them to get their suppressors. The process just seemed very drawn out. It seemed like a lot of legal paperwork, you know, creating a trust and all these other different things. And for a long time, that has kept me from actually going out and buying a suppressor. That was one of the big reasons, on top of the fact that you had to pay that $200 NFA tax stamp. But come January, as you guys may know, they are removing that $200 NFA tax stamp. And if you're like me, and for a long time, that was one of the things holding you back from getting a suppressor because of the additional cost and all the paperwork, you may now be looking into a suppressor that they are removing the $200 tax stamp. I think we will see a massive influx of folks come 2026 wanting suppressors and to start to apply for suppressors, since this makes them a lot more affordable, and I want to help you guys out in that process. So I'm taking the bullet, I'm spending the $200, I'm giving my $200 to the government, so that way I can go ahead and go through this process, document the process step by step, everything from choosing my suppressor to receiving the suppressor, how long the process takes, filling out the paperwork, covering all of those things. And I want to cover that for you guys, so you guys know come January, when you're looking to get your first suppressor, you know exactly what to expect. So without further ado guys, today we're going to be going through the journey of me purchasing my first suppressor. So let's see how this goes. Alright guys, step 1 on how to buy your first suppressor. You need to obviously know what suppressor you want. And this is going to differ based on your needs, based on the firearm that you're using, based on the muzzle device you're using. So you'll want to do a little bit of research on what maybe others are using for a similar setup to yours. Also, it depends on what caliber you want, whether you're doing a 22, a 30 cal, a 5.56. These are all going to differ. So you need to verify that your suppressor is compatible with the caliber that you tend to fire through it. And you also need to verify that it's going to work for the needs on what you want to use it for. There are different suppressors that are catered for different things. Some of them are catered more towards just complete sound deduction. Some of them are catered more towards, you know, preserving accuracy. So it really depends on what you're looking for. During my search, the company that I decided to go with is WhisperStrike suppressors. This is a small company that just opened up in Georgia back in April of this year, and they're new to the market. However, the one thing that really stood out to me about WhisperStrike suppressors is that they really focus on accuracy. One of the biggest things with cans or any muzzle devices that you put on the end of a barrel is, as you know, those barrels move, and a lot of these cans can affect accuracy substantially. On average, most suppressors, you're looking up to 6 MOA change with the suppressor on and the suppressor off. WhisperStrike suppressors claim that their suppressors only affect accuracy up to half the MOA. That is a ginormous difference from, you know, average cans that are deviating accuracy 6 MOA. That's a surefire level suppressor, and these are honestly pretty affordable. So for me, it was a really good place to start out. A lot of their suppressors are fully serviceable, so you can take them apart, clean them, or whatever, but I ended up going with a 22 can. I really want to build me out a little cool varmint rifle, and what better caliber to suppress than 22, because it's already so quiet. You can get it whisper quiet, and you can also use this can on 5.7, so I can suppress everything from 22 long rifle to 5.7 to even some of the hotter 22 rounds. So very excited to have this come in, but that's who I chose to go for. So the first step is identifying what type of suppressor you need, identifying if it's going to suit your needs and suits what you want it to do, and going ahead and adding it to your cart on the website. Step number 2 is picking an FFL. So you want to make sure that you have the FFL that can handle the situation. So as you're going through the process of ordering your suppressor, it's going to ask for your FFL. I highly advise you to call around and ensure that the FFL that you're going to pick does NFA transfers, because not every gun shop does handle outside NFA transfers. So you want to make sure that the specific gun shop that you're picking can handle this situation, and you also want to check and see what the price is. The price does differ depending on where you go, depending on what services they offer with that suppressor, and I'll get to that in just a second. But a lot of times I've seen them, you know, 40 bucks. I've seen some for 100. So it really just depends on what falls in your price range. But you definitely want to ask them how much. That way you make sure that you're not overpaying, and you can kind of compare prices across the board and see where you want to pick up your suppressor at. But you need to verify that they can handle outside NFA transfers. And also when picking an FFL, if you are a new first-time suppressor buyer like myself, you might want to see if they have a silencer shop kiosk. Silencer shop kiosks do make this process a little bit easier from what I've been told and in my own experience, because you can go in, you log into the app, you create your account, and it walks you through the process. It takes your fingerprints for you. You can submit your photo here. You can even take a photo if you don't have a passport. Such as myself, I don't have a passport, so that's why looking for a kiosk is important to me. So it is something that you want to check for. It's not necessarily a deal breaker, but as a first-time buyer, it may be something you want to check for. So you need to verify that your FFL can handle your needs with your suppressor. Once you verified that and you selected them as FFL, you put your order in. Then we move on to step 3, which is reaching out to your FFL. You need to reach out to your FFL ahead of time. Maybe not need to, but it's probably best practice. When I've submitted my order, I immediately reached out to them, told them who the suppressor was coming from, told them my name, because what will have to happen is the company that is selling you the suppressor will have to communicate with the local gun store, because they have to swap FFL and SOT information to get approval from the ATF just to ship your suppressor. So you want to make sure that communication happens, and best way to do that is to reach out, tell them your name, tell them that you're expecting a suppressor to come in, tell them that the suppressor company will probably reach out to them either via email or phone, and just ensure that that communication happens. That way it doesn't delay your suppressor getting to your local gun store. But after all that's done, they've communicated and the suppressor company has shipped out your suppressor. Now you wait till either it gets there, or if you call ahead of time, some gun shops will even let you come in before it gets there, like as soon as they know it's shipped, and go ahead and start your ATF paperwork. So now all you're doing is waiting for your suppressor to arrive, to show up to the gun store and start your ATF paperwork. This is where you'll do all your Form 4s, submit all your information to the ATF, take your pictures, get your fingerprints done, and that should all be done at that session in the gun store. So we're actually going to do that live for you guys. We're going to go there, we're going to fill out the paperwork, we're going to get everything done, and we're going to document the process. We'll tell you about how long it takes, how easy or hard the process is, and kind of give you guys an idea on what to expect. Alright guys, we are on the way to fill out the paperwork, all the ATF forms, pay the tax stamp, and submit all of our paperwork that we need to submit for the suppressor. So let's see how long this process takes up here at my local gun store, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, we're here. We're gonna go inside, fill out the paperwork. I don't know if they're gonna let us record in here, but if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. I'll check in with you guys after we get done, and yeah, we'll talk through the process. I'll just clip it up. I'm doing like my first suppressor video.
right,
do you know how to do the roll?
I'm guessing it's just like this.
Yeah, so start on your side. So, yep, start like that. And then bring it over just a little bit to the left.
Like that.
Yep, right there. And then, yep, just roll it across. Here, you want me to show you real quick?
Yeah, my finger feels like it's too short.
I know, man. This is weird.
We have a 507 seat on there.
Looks right.
507 seat.
Filling out the second part of the paperwork. Oh hell no, it's the feds.
Oh yeah, you definitely look like you're getting ready to see the magistrate.
Yeah. Domestic violence.
I dig the wrenches they gave you. You got closed in or open in, so you can either lock that on like so, or you can open end it.
Yeah, I believe he said these should be fully serviceable.
Yeah, they are. I took it apart the other day. And if it's really stuck, you can use that as a driver on either side.
Okay.
You have another one of those.
Look at them baffles.
Weird baffle shape.
See how well it works. Excited. Alright guys, I just finished up doing the paperwork. The whole process took me about 30 minutes, and shout out to Kenny here at Guns Plus in Spring Lake, North Carolina. He was great, walked me through the entire process, explained everything to me. So definitely guys, when you're looking at a shop to go to do your NFA paperwork, especially for the first time, you know, make sure you pick a good shop that's got good staff that's there to support you. It's really not a hard process whatsoever, especially if they have some type of like silencer shop kiosk. But yeah, the whole process only took about 30 minutes. So now we submitted the paperwork. We wait. Once we get the confirmation back from Silencer Shop to go back in and verify all the information, then I'll come back, I'll verify all the information, they'll send it off to the ATF, and then we will await the approval. So now the next step is wait for the approval. That way we can come back and get the suppressor, at least after I verify the information. But that part's not that important for you guys, and I don't want to waste your time with it. So let's see when it comes in. Alright guys, just a quick update. My Form 4 just got approved. So I'm going to head down to the gun shop here very soon and pick up the suppressor. Mind you, last week was Thanksgiving, so that maybe caused a few days of delay as well. So these are getting approved very, very quickly. Comparatively to a few years ago where they could take, you know, literally over a year, it is a much faster process. So do not let that hold you back, guys. It literally took less than a week from submitting all my forms for it to get approved. Now, one step that I don't want to leave out for you guys out there is in between the process of you guys going in, doing the paperwork at the Silencer Co. kiosk and your Form 4 getting approved, you'll also get an email somewhere in between saying something along the lines of ready to certify. So what this means is that you are ready to certify your Form 4 for actual submission. So once you submit it through Silencer Co., they have to review everything, and then they will send you another email saying either ready to certify or your e-Form 4 is ready for submission. So once you get that email, then you will have to reach back out to your gun shop and do the certification process with them, which can be done over the phone or in person. And then you wait the approval, which is what we just got. So let's go to the gun store and pick up the suppressor.
iPad and $10, 5 rounds.
Alright guys, we're back to the house. I finally got the suppressor. Obviously, as you guys seen, the last step is filling out your 4473 to get your suppressor. So just like any other firearm or anything else you would purchase, it's the exact same process to finally pick up your suppressor. So we got it back here at the house. We're gonna do a first unboxing for you guys.
and just take a closer look at the WhisperStrike 22 can. One thing I do want to point out, just so you guys know, is the box does say WhisperTech, as you can see. However, the company did just recently change their name to WhisperStrike, literally like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So some of their branding on the box and the packaging is going to be a little bit different than what you see on their website. It's the same company. The only difference is that this was pre-name switch for them. If you want to check them out, remember this is WhisperStrike suppressors, and there will be a link in the pinned comments below, so really go check these guys out. These guys helped me with the entire process, walked me through it. I was very nervous about getting a suppressor, so I did reach out to them to have them kind of walk me through the process, and they were willing to jump on a call and literally walk me step by step what to expect with buying one of their suppressors. So I'm really excited for that, and they're really good guys, so please go check these guys out. They are a partner of the channel, so they support us, so please go show them some support. Alright guys, so let's go over the packaging. As I mentioned before, WhisperStrike is a newer company on the market, and for me, especially with newer companies, I think presentation is everything. And what I can say from what I've seen so far with the suppressor is the packaging is definitely on point. So you do get kind of like a magnetic box for your suppressor, so we'll open that up. As you can see, we have WhisperTech, which is now WhisperStrike Precision Silence. So as you can see here, we do have this little foam cutout. This does say 5 pillars of suppression, and it does have the 5 pillars of a good suppressor here. You have your little QR code there that has instructions on how to set up the suppressor or take it apart, depending on what you need to do. So it's very cool that they included that so you can scan it with your phone. All right, so the box here, we do have 2 tools, and you guys have kind of seen this earlier in the video as Kenny at the gun shop was using to take the suppressor apart, and we will do that here in just a second. But we do have the 2 tools to actually take your suppressor apart and clean it. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Pull out the suppressor, so you do get a little bag for it. That's pretty cool. You know, made in the good old USA, Georgia. You know, bordering state to North Carolina, our neighbor over there. And let's pull her out. All right, there she is. And I did get this in tungsten gray. So this is the 22 can. This is their Lifesaver 22 on their website. This thing can shoot a lot of different 22 caliber rounds, even some of the hotter rounds all the way up to like 22 250, which is a round that is smoking. They also did inform me when I spoke to them that you can shoot 5.56 to this can. So we will be testing that in the full video to see how well it performs. They did tell me though to limit it to a mag dump. So don't shoot more than 1 mag without letting it cool off in between shots. So 30 rounds for me, I mean for a 22 can, that's insane. I mean, I didn't expect this thing to withstand 5.56, but the fact that it can, and you just gotta let it cool down between mag dumps, I mean, this is not a bad deal. You buy this for a 22, and then you can use it on your AR every once in a while, or other higher caliber 22 rounds. So that's really, really cool. All right, I'm gonna take it apart real quick here for you guys, just so you can see what the inside looks like up close. And put that in there just like that, and then turn. And there you go. And there we have our baffles. There's your can. If you need to clean it, or whatever the case may be, you can take it apart and get that done. And then obviously you just have the outside tube. But that's the work right there of WhisperStrike. Precision Silence. These are 3D printed suppressors. I do believe they do utilize 3D printing, obviously with aluminum, not with plastic. So as long as you're using decent 3D printing machines, that shouldn't cause a problem for you though. It just really depends on the quality of the machines, but that's why we're gonna test it for you guys in a video and see how it holds up with even some higher caliber rounds. So overall guys, my experience buying my very first suppressor went a lot smoother and a lot quicker than what I actually expected it to. I know that the ATF has improved on their processes on getting these things approved, so the timelines went down a lot, and overall Silencer Co. has made this process a lot easier for a lot of people, but I didn't expect it to actually go as quick as it did, especially given that I'm doing this during the holidays. But the whole process
took right around 2.5 weeks. From the time that this hit my gun dealer, I would say it took right around 2.5 weeks till today for it to be in my hands. But do also be mindful that in January, there will probably be a large influx of people going out to get suppressors, because now it's more, of a financial incentive that the $200 tax stamp isn't there anymore. Again, I don't know how long the waits will be. I know that the ATF is approving these pretty quickly, so hopefully they'll be able to keep that up, even with the large influx of people. But if you are somebody who's been thinking about getting a suppressor, or you want a suppressor but you don't know where to start, I'm telling you, now is the time to start. It's easier than ever. It's not that long of a process. You can get it done. It maybe will take a few hours of your time to get everything done total over the span of 2.5 weeks, and you'll have your very first suppressor. As long as you buy a firearm, you should be able to get a suppressor. The only difference is you have to sell your fingerprints to the government to own this little piece of aluminum. But let's all admit, they're pretty damn cool. I'm gonna throw this on something really cool. I'm gonna do a little tactical 22 build with it. I'm also planning on building out a little varmint rifle for squirrel and rabbit hunting. So I just need to figure out what build I'm gonna do first and what gun I'm going to throw this on. I am very, very excited to see how whisper quiet we can get 22 out of this can, especially using subsonic. So again, guys, if you're looking for your first suppressor, you don't know where to start, you don't know what brand to start with, WhisperStrike might be a good option for you because they were very, very friendly to me and they're pretty affordable. This 22 can on their website, I think, goes right around 500 bucks. So it's a good place to start and will not cost you an arm and leg. And for a surefire level suppressor pertaining to precision, that's a pretty good price, especially at $500. So we'll just have to see how well it holds up. So if you're interested, guys, hit that subscribe button, like, and comment below if you already own a suppressor, what your experience was like. And if you don't own a suppressor, let us know what's holding you back. So without further ado, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. You'll see this out very, very soon. Stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next time. And I'm out. Peace.